first kind of real job I did was Singin' I'm when I graduated, and it was my own production.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, that kind of brings that whole chapter up really well, which is obviously you produced it, you've put years into it. I'm going to let you take it away because that's a fucking fascinating story on its own for a number of reasons.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a number of ways of telling it, and there's been ways I've processed that story in my mind over the years, many ways. And before I put something down in paper, my wife and I, we foster 2 children, and every day I chat to the kids and I try and say that the only way you ever point is this way. You take responsibility for your role in things, as opposed to going, I'm not where I want to be because of him, her, or them and them. You know, it's like you take responsibility. So the story that I'm chatting about now is I graduated college. I'd set up a theatre company while at college because I'd seen kids leaving and not getting work. So all the graduates that were amazing, that could sing, act and dance, were graduating and not getting a job, and I thought, I'm next. I went to the lectures and I said, look, how does a wee guy like me from Glasgow, who's at the Nautical College studying, how do I get onto the Citizens Theatre across the road? You know, that's where we all go and see the shows there. How do I get on that stage? And the lecturer said, well, you would get a job with a theatre company, maybe audition, you get a job with a theatre company, and they would give you the job. And then I'm just out of curiosity, how did the theatre company get onto the stage? And he said, well, they would maybe hire the theatre, or they would be invited in because they're deemed as a good enough organisation to be invited
or
in.
just a good fit.
Yeah, and I thought, okay, so I then said, so can I just become a theatre company then? And bear in mind, I was saying earlier on, I turned up at college, didn't know what a monologue was. So he's kind of laughing, saying, well, you didn't know what a monologue was 6 months ago, Scott. I don't know about running theatre companies just yet. But I went to Business Gateway and I set up the theatre company, and we started taking the productions we were doing at college as part of the course on the road at the weekends. So we were doing Passing Places by Stephen Greenhorn, and we would put it on at the East Kilbride Arts Centre at the weekend, and I was kind of learning, all right, so this is how you hire the theatre, this is how you sell the tickets, this is the industry I'm trying to get into. And I think that's a really important thing for maybe anybody watching that's in the industry is, I've got mates that are actors, and sometimes they'll be like, I'm not getting any work or anything like that. And I say, well, do you know what's going on? Do you know how many projects are getting made? Because with my role in the theatre is I book the shows into the theatres as well, so I kind of get an idea of how many theatre shows are getting made. So I know how many cast members are, I know how many jobs are going. I'm not that offended when I'm not getting asked to do it, because there is a limited amount of jobs. But if you sit and think everybody else is working apart from you, that's
of course. Your
mental fitness takes a bit of pounding with that if you're thinking everybody else is doing all right except for me. So that was the idea, was put on the shows of our own accord. So when I graduated, I went to the local library and I found a play called Singin' I'm by Lisa Tim by a writer, Des Dillon. I contacted Des and his agent and I said, I'd like to do this play, don't have a coin, but we're going to put it on the pub and we'll do what we can and try and get it on the theatre. And we got the rights to the show.
Which is, again, I've dabbled in that, tried to do a version of The Dumb Waiter, and it was tough, man. Sometimes, again, the rights sometimes can be like, what you doing, where you doing, how many days, how many tickets, and you're like,
I don't know any of them. I've not made it up yet. I'm still making it up as I go. I don't have the answer to any of them. So I had all those obstacles as well, and managed to get through them. We put the show on, and working men's clubs, miners clubs, because at the time the theatres were scared of it. They were like, oh no, Rangers and Celtic, that'll cause trouble. So we couldn't get into the theatres. We managed to get into the Citizens Theatre in the Circle Studio upstairs, and we did a show there. And Colin Little, who's in the show with me, James Miller, this is the original cast from that production that we produced, are going to be in the 20-year anniversary show of it. So we met in my bedroom. I said, we're going to do this show. We went to the Citizens Theatre, we performed it. We thought we were great, kind of just out of college, probably not get any of the skill sets that now we appreciate 20 years on. But we did the job, and we were hoping that we'd get picked up, and the phone didn't ring after it, and that was it. So the show was done, and the phone hadn't rang, and then I got a phone call one day from the SECC in Glasgow, and bear in mind I'm running the theatre company out of my mum's house, a 2-bedroom flat in Rutherglen me and my brother grew up in, and I answered the phone, and the girl says someone from our theatre, from the SECC, was at the show and thought it was brilliant and was wondering if you would come down and consider bringing the SECC. And I was I was like, we've got nothing else on. So we went down to the SEC. I drove down my moped on my wee scooter, parked it far enough away, they didn't see me coming in a moped, and I went in, they showed me the spaces, and at first I was going like, the SECC is huge, it's a monster venue, and I was like, this is too big. Even I knew that at that point. And then there was a suite called the Lomond Suite. It's a 600 seater, it's a conference centre. I thought we could do this. So long story short, we booked a show in, we started marketing it, which was days and days of putting a backpack on and putting leaflets through doors all over Glasgow to fill this theatre. We filled the theatre. The day we arrived, this is the mecca for us, right? This is the glory day of arriving at the SECC. So we borrow a gas van from my mate Paul Haggerty. Paul ran a gas company called Globe Gas, and he had two old bangery vans, because one would break down and use the other. And I said to him, can I get the one you're not using in it to do this show? And he said, yeah, no worries. So we drive up to the SECC, past the back. At the time, X Factor's at its peak, so Simon Cowell and everybody were in there. They're doing the auditions and stuff.
Right, okay.
There was fans against the fence and that. This is the heyday of X Factor. We're going along in this old bangery van at the back, popping and banging and everything. We pull up to the gate of the SECC. There's a big barrier, won't let you in, and the security guard looks at, and I say to him, it's NLP Theatre Company, that's my wee theatre company I set up. And he looks at the van that says Globe Gas on the side of it. He's kind of going, NLP are on the list, but you're not in an NLP van. And he says, are you doing homers at the weekend? And I says, well, I've been helping my mate out to get a shot of this van. So long story short, we go in, we drive to the back of the Armadillo, and we pull the van up. Now this is where, if it was the animation that you've seen, I always tell it as if the movie was ever made, this is the movie scene, right? But it could also be the animation. So we get this wee banger of a van, we reverse it up, I look in the rearview mirror, and the double doors open up. Now in my mind, the double doors open up and it's all the dry ice comes out and all that, right? This is the movie, and this is me telling the story as the movie. The doors open up, about 16 big hairy biker looking guys come out, tattoos and got the beards and all that stuff, ponytails, and they walked out, and I'm seeing them in the mirror and I'm like, wow, we've made it, this is it, wow, this is like a dream come true. I open up the van door, I step out, I slam the door shut, I turn around thinking I'd be greeted like the Messiah, and they say, oh, get that van to buck out of here, we've got a show coming in. And I was like, no, we're the show. We're the show guys. And they're thinking Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat. They're thinking an Arctic lorry was coming in the corner and this wee gas bag had rolled round.
They're expecting the fucking...
Well, it's a big sold out show in their eyes. They're like, it's full house, it's really packed, this show. The Rangers and Celtic shows arrived, it's packed, it's going to be this big show. So we pull out the door, a freestanding prison cell door that was made in Castlemilk. My brother Craig is a painter, and his mate Fergie was a joiner, and Fergie built the door in his living room. Right, he had 3 kids running around. When I went to pick up, there was 3 kids, and his wife's going like, get that bloody door out of my house, just like in the living room. And I was like, wow, this door's amazing. So we load that out the van. We've got a toilet pan I bought down the Barras, right, on a bit of wood to make sure it didn't fall over, and a mattress. That was the 3 bits of set we arrived with, right? Now,
nice.
This is what I mean about anybody in the industry that now that's running the theatres would not accept that show, right? It wouldn't be allowed, right? So we arrive, we go in, you can see the guys on the radio mics, get a security guard down, get the bosses down here, we need something, this isn't alright. So we go in, we're borrowing tables and chairs to make up the set, and we go ahead that night and we sell out and we get a standing ovation, because the audience that were coming had no expectations other than it's about Rangers and Celtic, we'll go and see it. So the strength of Desi's writing, the strength of the performances, even if I probably look back now and think we weren't that great, they were strong enough that the audience enjoyed themselves.
The best you had at the time.
The best we had at the time, absolutely the best we had at the time. And then from there on, other theatres started taking interest. The Citizens got in touch and asked them to play the main stage, and we got a proper set. After a couple of years, we got a proper van, and we were then going back to the theatres that we turned up with in the gas van, and they were greeting us with open arms, going, oh my god, it was so funny when you arrived in that van, that gas van.
I know.
All those sort of stories. So the accumulation of this story, which is in the animation, which is chapter 1 in my book, is in 2010 we went to the Edinburgh Festival with the show, and I managed to win the stage best actor.
Yep.
Now that meant a lot. You'll know yourself as a kind of producer, producing your own work. There's an inferiority complex we've all got, imposter syndrome, that I was thinking, am I any good at this, or did I just give myself the job? Am I the guy that's the lead singer of the school band, but I'm running the band, so that's why I'm the lead singer. That sort of thing was in my head. We went to the Edinburgh Festival, biggest arts festival in the world, performers from all over the world, and I got nominated and won the coveted stage award for acting excellence as the best actor at the Fringe that year, and it blew my mind. And what we started to do with that was we started to put my name on the poster. So it said Scott Kyle, starring award-winning actor Scott Kyle.
Yeah. And
I got an email at my mum's house, going back to my mum's wee flat, from a girl called Leanne Phillips, and she said, you don't know me, Scott, I'm your wee sister. When we were younger, my dad kind of disappeared when we were 3 years old, and we never seen him. So he went away and he had a new family. So I had 3 sisters and a brother I'd never met, and they seen the poster with my name on it. This is before social media and all that stuff. So they were like, we've seen the poster and we'd like to meet up. Are you okay with that? And I said, yeah. I said, I'm doing a play. You should come and see the play. I'm doing this play, the SECC, proud of my achievements. Like, this would be nice to meet up with family when I'm doing well. So they're coming along to the SECC. We've sold out 3,000 tickets for the Armadillo, so we're no longer in the wee suite with the gas van. We're now in the big stage with a proper van and a proper set. And so we go out, we do the show, 3,000 people. Des Dillon, the writer's in the audience. It's the biggest night of his career as well. And after the show, I'm loading up the van. I've got a free bar on upstairs where all my family and friends and all the amazing people that made all this possible.
So at this point, they're treating you like a star.
Yeah, that's it. So so you've had your standing ovations, encore. You load the van, and I'm about to go up. But this time, the show's made enough money that I'd paid off my mum's mortgage. I'd paid off council tax debt that was outstanding for years. I'd cleared credit cards, decorated our house and stuff like that in preparation for moving out and making a life with my girlfriend and soon-to-be wife. And as we were loading the van, Des Dillon, the writer, come up to me and said, can I, what you've done with this show is incredible, Scott. I mean, I used to phone Desi's house and his wife Joanne would answer. She'd say, I got a new washing machine because of you, Scott. You know what I mean? Like that sort of stuff. And I used to phone Des all the time, telling him about the play, what we were doing, the success story, all of it. And he was like the father that I never had. You know what I mean? He was giving me praise, and I was like, oh, this is, good to chat.
Especially in the early days, until you learn to sort of judge things for yourself, you're always looking for that other person to be your anchor of like, I think this is good. Do you think this is good also? Okay, cool. It's not just me.
And just from that, the older male figure that was lacking in my youth, do you know what I mean? I didn't have that role model. So I've always kind of latched on to drama teachers or football coaches or, like Des. And he said, he said to me, what you've done with the show is incredible. He said, so what I'm about to say, it's not personal. It's not meant to be personal. He said, but I'm going to take the rights to the show and do it myself. And at this moment, the kind of penny drops in my mind. I don't have a contract to say that I've got the rights to this show forever and ever. I haven't. That bit of the business of show, I hadn't got to yet in terms of I'm just. I mean, making it up as I go. Just kind of, we managed to get the rights to do the show at the Sits for a week. Nothing came out. Then we got the Sits at the SECC, and it's just kind of snowballed now.
So basically, you figured out promotion, you figured out marketing, you figured out all that stuff. The one thing you haven't thought of is copyright.
Yep, and about to get the biggest lesson in my career there, in the sense that I should have had a contract that said that I'm the only person that can produce this show moving forward, or I've got the rights for 10 years or 50 years or however many years I thought I'd be doing the show. So in that night, I lose my business. At that moment, I've just lost my business.
That was it sounds like the biggest source of income.
Yeah, it was the only source of income, but 5 years, every day of my life I put on a backpack and I went leaflet, and that was my life. My life was promoting that show till we do the show, then we do the show, then I promote the show again, then we just keep doing it. So the difficult thing there was having to swallow all that, and then I had to go upstairs to the room where the family are there, the friends are there, everybody's are there, and they're all toasting your success, thinking you're great, and I'm knowing that I'm not great. I've messed up big time, and this is not the time to tell you. So I have to go into that night and I have to put on an even greater acting performance that night, as drinking champagne and the till bars going up and up and up as the 3 bars. It's a free bar to them, it's not a free bar to me. Everybody comes back with a round of drinks and more shots and stuff, and I'm going, oh no, this is all going to implode very soon. So that's the opening chapter of the book that night. And the interesting thing with the book, I started working on the book 5 years ago. I had no idea 5 years ago when I wrote that chapter that 5 years later I would have the chance to take the show back and be doing it again. And in many ways, it's an easier story to tell.
But it's a good teaser
with now, it's an easier story to tell now, because I think the book would have been very different if the opening chapter is that, and then you go through your life and career, and it ends how it ends. And there's no reference really to that show, but it was such a big moment in life and in my career. And the Billy and Tim linked to all the acting, the finance from it helped me help my mum. So it was a big part of my life. I got a family out the show. Do you know what I mean? It was much more than just a play to me.